A very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to Unacademy, a place where you can crack your toughest of examinations with top educators, quality content, and not to forget the great learning experience. Therefore, let us crack your 9th and 10th examination with Unacademy's access to unlimited live and recorded courses from India's best educators. But before I proceed with Unacademy, let me introduce myself. I am Tasneem Ahmed and I have completed my Master's and MPhil in English. I have also been certified in TESOL and I have trained 1,000 plus students, and I also have 8 years of professional experience. Therefore, be rest assured you are in good hands. Today's video is actually the continuation of yesterday's video. Well, yesterday I shared a video with you which had a bunch of statements, sentence fragments for you to use it in your communicative English. And I'm going to continue with a few more other different types of sentences today in this video as well, which is definitely going to help you in improving your speaking skill. So stay tuned to learn more of these sentence fragments. But before I continue with that, let me come back to Unacademy and let me tell you what Unacademy has to offer if you were to become a subscriber. Well, number one, you get daily live classes where you can chat with your educator, engage in discussions, and answer polls all while the class is going on. Number two, you do have live tests and quizzes to evaluate your preparation with our regular mock tests and quizzes and get detailed analysis on your performance. Number three, you have structured courses. All our courses are structured in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it. Number four is the unlimited access. That is, one subscription gets you the access to all our live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any one of your devices. All you have to do is buy any one of these subscriptions that are available on Unacademy platform and get the access to free live classes and prepare with top educators and get the comprehensive syllabus of mathematics, social science, Hindi, science, and of course English as well. Well, you can also talk to us on Telegram application. All you have to do is download the Telegram application, type the link, and click on join. And then finally, you will have to download the Unacademy learning application on any one of your compatible devices. And finally, you will have to subscribe to any one of these subscriptions available on Unacademy platform. Unacademy offers you 6 months subscription, 12 months subscription, 24 months subscription, and then 36 and also 48 months subscription. Each of these subscriptions come with a maximum amount of discount. And another good news is, as you go higher with the time period, the discount on these courses go higher as well. Well, the discount doesn't just end there. You can also avail extra 10% on the existing discount by typing the code TA01 when you proceed to pay. That is, when you are buying, let us say you are buying the course of 12 months, which is already available on a discounted rate of 50%. And with typing the code TA01 when you proceed to pay, you get additional 10% of discount. That is, in total, you get 60% of discount. As opposed to 15,000 rupees, you only will have to pay 13,500 rupees with this code, which is TA01. And for a month, all you will be paying is 1,125 rupees only. Well, if you are a 9th grader or a 10th grader or an 11th or a 12th grader, do not wait any longer. Go ahead and take advantage of these discounts that we offer you. Go ahead and buy a course for 12 months, because anything lesser than that would not be beneficial for you. 12 months is what is going to be really beneficial, and also it comes with the maximum amount of discount, and with the code you also get additional 10% of discount. So therefore, go ahead, type the code, which is TA01, and buy the course, buy the subscription today, and start preparing for those examinations which are coming up. Now let us proceed towards today's topic, that is the sentence fragments to speak in English. Well, yesterday I gave you a bunch of sentences. I hope you have gone through them, and I hope you have started practicing. I hope you have started using them in your language. With that hope that you have already done that and you are going to continue doing that, I have come up with another video with not the same, but then extra few more sentence fragments that you can use in your communicative English. So the first one for today is let me, thank you, and then can I. Now, when you say let me, and then when you use a verb like this, let me make my own decisions, or let me take that from you, or let me sleep on it. Now here, this means that you are offering to do something, and you are asking, in fact, somebody else to allow you to do something that you want to do. As in, let me make my own decisions. As if, for example, somebody else is trying to make your decision. So in that particular situation, you go and you say, please hold on there. Let me make my own decisions. I don't want anybody to interrupt in my decision-making process. All right. Next is, let me take that from you. You are probably offering a helping hand. Probably somebody is holding something and you are offering to do something, as in, let me take that from you so that you can concentrate on some other work. All right. Next one is, let me sleep on it. Well, sleep on it is an idiom, which means let me think about it. You might have given me a suggestion and I have to take a decision on that. So I'm going to say, all right, I have heard you. Now let me sleep on it and come up with a decision tomorrow. So that's what you say, what you mean when you say, let me sleep on it. Like I told you, sleep on it is an idiom. Next one is thanking. Thanking somebody for having done something. How could you say thank you politely? That is by saying, thank you for listening. Here you have used an ing verb, which is a gerund, and you are trying to tell them, you're trying to thank them for having heard you, for having listened to you. So you're going to say, thank you for listening, thank you for talking to her, and thank you for calling me. So these are a few examples that I have given. You can obviously come up with according to your situation, and you can frame your sentence fragments. You can practice according to your situations, your real life scenarios. Like I told you yesterday, practice it at least minimum of 7 times and see the kind of difference that you bring in your language. Do that even today as well. Practice it for at least 7 times. Frame 7 different statements with each one of these sentence fragments that I am giving you here, and then try and use that in your English. The next sentence fragment is can I. Can I is to ask somebody to do something, asking permission. In fact, can I attend the event? Can I get a cup of coffee? Can I call you tomorrow? So all these are asking permissions to do something. But if you have noticed, I have used the word can I. Do you remember in my yesterday's video, I told you that when you use I told you that we are actually learning about speaking English, communicative English over here, and that's exactly what we are doing today as well. So I'm focusing too much on how you communicate, how you use these sentence fragments in your spoken English and not in writing. Here and there, I'm also giving you information how you can use that in your written English as well. But then when you say can I, it is only used in spoken English and not in your writing. Because if you go technically, if you go formally, when you ask for somebody's permission, you always say may I. You do not say can I, because if you have watched my video on models, it's actually the meaning of can actually is ability, expressing the ability to do something. So when you say can I, you are actually not asking for permission, but then you are expressing your ability to do something. Well, in fact, there was a situation in my own life where I, in fact, asked somebody, can I do something? And the other person was like, you certainly can. But then he did not allow me. He did not give me the permission to do that. So if you are asking for permission, you always go with may I. These are accepted usages. People, in fact, do not everybody, not unless you are really good in English, nobody is going to point you out for this usage. But then this certainly means that you are speaking about your ability and not asking for permission. So try and keep to may I as much as possible. But if you cannot, and if you are using can I, it's not grammatically incorrect though, but then it is better to avoid. And if you were to confront somebody who's really good in English, then they are definitely going to point you out. So if you do not want to be facing that kind of situation, I suggest you stick to may I. You can say may I attend the event, because you are asking for permission, right? So may I attend the event? May I get a cup of coffee? May I call you tomorrow? Because this is asking for permission. Although can I as well also does the same function, I suggest do not do it. But if you really want to go ahead and do it, go on. No, not an issue either. So may I or can I? Next is do you, would you, I don't, I'm not. How can you use this in your statement? Do you mind if I, and then using a present verb like, do you mind if I leave early? Now here you are asking somebody if you would do something, would they mind, or would they feel offended, or would they feel bad about you doing something? So you would say, do you mind if I leave early? Or do you mind if I take a cab instead? Or if you say, would you mind if I left early? Would you mind if I took a cab instead? Now you can see that these two statements are pretty much similar. There isn't any difference over here, right? But there is a difference over here. Again, when you say, do you mind? It means that you are using this in informal situations. And when you say, would you, it is for formal situations, as in when you are speaking in formal situations, I suggest go with would you and not do you. With your friends, with your family, with your cousins, and in your friend circle or in parties and all of that, I wouldn't mind if you go ahead and use do you mind. But then if you were to give a speech to some gathering, and if you were to speak to your professors, or if you were to speak to somebody in a professional scenario, to your colleagues in your meetings, or in your somebody that are on a superior position or in an authoritative position, if you are speaking to them, I suggest go ahead and use the second one and not the first one, because this is more formal and more polite. And this is, I wouldn't say it's not polite, but then this kind of speaking is accepted only in informal situations. Therefore, stick to would you mind if I left early. Notice the second usage of the verb over here and here. Do you mind if I leave early? This is okay with your friends, certainly, but not okay with your professor. Would you mind if I left early is what will be correct or apt with your professors or in informal situations. And this, if you would say, do you mind if I leave early? Or do you mind if I take a cab instead? All that is okay in an informal situation. And would is apt in formal situations. Remember the difference between formal and informal English. And again, this I would suggest go with writing as well. Do not use this kind of language in your writing, but if you are writing something academically related, then go with would you. If you are writing some story, novel or something, this kind of language is definitely welcome. But then if you are writing something academically, then I suggest go with formal writing all the time. All right, now let us move on to the next one, which is I don't know what to or how to. And then the usage of verb like this. I don't know what to have for dinner. I don't know how to express it better. I don't know how to ask for help. Now, these are expressing something, your opinions, as in you are not sure or you don't know how to proceed further or what you are supposed to do about something. And how can you say that? You can say it like this. I don't know what to have for dinner. I don't know how to express it. I don't know what to ask, who to ask for help. You can say the same thing in a different way as well by using I'm not sure. Instead of I don't know, you can use I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to have for dinner. I'm not sure how to express it better. I'm not sure who to ask for help. Both these statements are communicating the same message, but then here you are using I don't know, and you are using I'm not sure. All right. Next is I'm not sure if. How do you suggest or how do you propose? I'm not sure with the conjunction if. How are you going to use that statement in your communicative English? Number one, I'm not sure if they'll return my call. I'm not sure if she'll really take up on my advice. I'm not sure if I will take that job. So here again, you are not sure about something, but then you are saying the same thing with a clause, additional clause over here by using the conjunction if. I'm not sure if they'll return my call. I'm not sure if she'll really take up on my advice. I'm not sure if I will take that job. So as in, you are not sure about something which is going to happen. Next is how do you suggest we go on, or how do you propose we? As in here, you are asking for the other person's opinion. The other person, you are probably sitting in a meeting and you are asking for somebody to put forth their opinion and put forth their ideas to you. So in that particular situation, you can go ahead and frame your sentences like this. You can either say, how do you suggest we do that? Or you can also say, how do you propose we go about it? Or you can also say, how do you suggest we inform them? How do you suggest she should take it forward? Or how do you propose we proceed? Both convey the same meaning. Suggest and propose both convey the same meaning, but the way you say it is different. How do you suggest and how do you propose? Convey the same meaning. There is no difference at all. And here you are asking for the other person's opinion, the other person's suggestion, so that you all can go forward from wherever you are. The next one is I should have, I wish, and you should. I should have, and then you use a past participle. I hope you know what is a past participle. If you do not remember, let me tell you again. A verb has 5 forms, and the 5th form is called as past participle. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. This 5th form is what we call as past participle. Eat, eats, eating, ate, eaten. The 5th form is what we call as past participle. So in this particular situation, when you say I should have, the moment you say I should, it is about expressing what you should have done. Suggestion, more of a suggestion. But here in this situation, when you say I should have gone with you, or I should have told you, I should have run faster. Here this word should, we are using it in a past scenario. We are saying this about something that we should have done earlier in past tense. I should have gone with you, but I did not go. I should have told you, but I did not tell you. I should have run faster, but I did not. Which means you are referring to something that has happened in the past, and you are now regretting you for not having done that. But at the same time, take a look at these two statements, which is you should replace it, you should call him. We have again used the same kind of word, that is should, but here we are using the word should in future reference, as in you should replace it, as in it has not been done yet, You are suggesting, you're putting forth your suggestion to your friend or to whoever that is. You are telling them you should replace it, as in future reference. You should call him, again, as in future reference. When you say it like this, it becomes past reference, and here it becomes your future reference. In between, we have words, we have sentences like, I wish I could sing better. I wish I could perform better. I wish I could make that all gone. Here, the word is self-explanatory. The moment you say the word I wish, it means you are wishing for things to have been different, but then they are not like that. They are totally different from what they actually are. So when you say, I wish I could sing better, which means that you're not able to sing, and you wish to sing better, and you're expressing it that way. Similarly, I wish I could perform better. Obviously, you're not able to perform better, but then you wish to perform better. I wish I could make that all gone. Well, something has really happened, and the way you are saying it, I wish I could make that all gone. Obviously, it is something not good, and you want all that to be gone, and you wish, I wish I could make all that all gone. Next is, if only, if I were, if I was. Let us begin with if only. Now, these are, again, you are talking about hypothetical situations, as in like imaginary situations, if things had been different. And how can you say that in different ways? There are n number of ways of saying hypothetical situations or imaginary situations, or if things had been different. I'm going to put forth only 3 scenarios for you. Number 1 being if only. If only he had told me that earlier. When you say this, if only he had told me that earlier, I probably would have reacted in a different way. But now, as he did not tell me, I reacted in a way that I reacted. So, if only he had told me that earlier, I would have probably reacted in a different way. Similarly, if only there was something I could do to help. Now, there is a person who is in need of help and he or she needs your help, but then you have nothing that you can do to help that person. And you feel so sorry about the situation, and you are expressing that you're so sorry and you are sad, and you say it like this: if only there was something I could do to help, to make things better. And the next one is, if only she had spoken to me about it. Probably your friend, she is undergoing some kind of situation and she never actually shared it with you. And you come to know about this particular situation when it is too late. And then you hear about the situation, and now you are like, if only she had spoken to me about it, maybe we both together could have come up with a solution to it, or maybe we could have resolved the issue, but then she did not. If only she had spoken to me about it. So you are expressing about a hypothetical situation, of a situation which could have been in a different way. Next is, if only I had worked harder. So there is something that you were working on, and looks like you have failed at it. Looks like it has failed. Whatever you were working at has not been successful, and now you are sorry about it, and now you are like, if only I had worked harder towards it, maybe I could have succeeded. So now you are sorry. Now it is again about a hypothetical situation which you are imagining. It could have been different. So that is, if only I had worked harder. Next is, if I were and if I was. Now let me tell you, if I were and if I was, again, they both also convey the same thing, as in speaking about hypothetical situations, or if situations had been different than what we are actually talking. All right, but there is a difference between if I were and if I was. If I were speaks entirely about impossible situations, or something that is physically not possible. As in, if I were a bird, I would fly around all the time. Is that even possible? If I were a bird, as in like if you were becoming a bird, do you think it is possible anytime in future? Not at all. It is something impossible. So when you are trying to express that, you say, if I were. So this is a hypothetical situation again, something that you are imagining, something that you wish things were different than the way they are. And you are saying, and when you say were, especially were, when you use were, it means that these things are almost next to impossible, not possible at all. If I were a bird, I would fly around all the time. So again, not possible at all. Similarly, if I were you, I would take that job. If I were you, again, me becoming you is again next to impossible, right? But then I'm expressing my opinion, my wish. If I were you, I would have done this particular thing, but I'm not, right? Again, another situation would be if I were stronger, I would lift it. If I were stronger. Again, me, I'm not as stronger. I'm comparing over here. I'm telling stronger, as in right now, I'm less strong. Therefore, it means that I'm comparing to me being stronger. Therefore, if I were stronger, I would lift it. But right now, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not stronger right now. Therefore, it's kind of next to impossible at the moment. Maybe in future, if I work really hard on it, maybe there is a possibility. But right now, as of this moment, it's next to impossible. Me immediately turning stronger is something that is not going to happen in seconds or in minutes, for that matter. Next is if I was. Now, when you say if I was, now this is something that there is a possibility of things happening in future. As in, if I was selected, I will let you know. Now, let us say I have applied for a job, I have given an interview, and I'm waiting for the results, and you ask me, what about the results? And you don't know yet what the results are. And then I'm telling you, if I was selected, I'll definitely let you know about it. So this is something that can happen possibly. The possibility of this happening, the chances of this happening are high. But if you say if I were, the chances of that happening is totally nil. But then if I say if I was, the chances of that particular action happening are high. Similarly, if I was harsh, I will apologize. Well, I might have said something very rudely. So in that particular situation, I did not realize when I was saying it, but then later maybe I realize when I see the other person being upset, or the reaction when I see on the other person's face, then I realize like, okay, I've done something wrong. Probably I've offended the person. So it's better I say sorry and I better apologize. And how can I say that? If I was harsh, I will apologize. That's a softer way, that's a polite way of expressing an apology. Next would be if it was raining, then it will be cancelled. Probably we both, you and your friend, were discussing about going to a movie and or some function or something, some event that is supposed to happen. But then it was raining and you're not sure about going. So in that particular situation, you will be like, if it was raining, then it will be cancelled. So there's no point going over there and checking whether the event is happening or not. So let's just totally cancel it altogether. All right. So these are the situations where you actually speak about the possibility of happening when there is a possibility of happening. But if you say, if I were, the chances are nil. Now let us move on to had I or if I had. Well, had I and if I had are actually similar. They both convey the same meaning, they both are used in same situation, but the way you say it is different. That's it. Like if you say, had I known she was coming, I would have thrown a welcome party. Or you can also say, if I had known. All right, I is missing over here. Let us add. If I had known she was coming, I would have thrown a welcome party. They both mean one and the same, the meaning. Again, had I or if I had is again used to speak about a hypothetical situation. Supposing if I had known, if this had been the situation, this could have happened. Again, speaking about something that is hypothetical or imagination or something that you wish the situation to be different. That is this when you use had I or if I had. Had I known she was coming, I would have thrown a welcome party. Had I known you were busy, I wouldn't have bothered you. Had I not called her, she never would have come. Had I told her the ending, she never would have watched the movie. Now, the same thing we can say If I had known she was coming, I would have thrown a welcome party. If I had known you were busy, I wouldn't have bothered you. If I hadn't called her, she never would have come. If I had told her the ending, she never would have watched the movie. So now you can take a look at these explanations, these sentences. All these sentences are talking about something, about the situation which would be different than what it actually is. Now, if you take a look at the first one, had I known she was coming, I would have thrown a party. Right now, there is no party happening whatsoever. But the person is saying, if I had known or had I known she was coming, the situation would have been different. I would have definitely thrown a party for her welcome. Similarly, had I known you were busy, I wouldn't have bothered you. But then I have now walked in, I have bothered you, I have disturbed you. But if I had known this earlier, had I known about you being busy earlier, maybe I wouldn't have disturbed you. Maybe I wouldn't have bothered you. Similarly, had I not called her, she never would have come. Now she is here, the situation is different. Now she is here, but then if I hadn't given her a call, if I hadn't invited her over, she probably never would have come. She is here because I gave a call. Had I not called her, had I told her the ending, she never would have watched the movie. Like, this is pretty much common about, I mean, obviously you are planning to watch a movie and your friend comes over and gives you a spoiler alert. What would you do? Would you really want to go watch the movie? You might not be as interested as you were earlier, right? So this is pretty much the same scenario. Had I told her the ending, she never would have watched the movie. Same situations are expressed in a different way by putting the if in the front like this. If I had known she was coming, I would have thrown a welcome party. If I had known you were busy, I wouldn't have bothered you. If I hadn't called her, she never would have come. If I had told her the ending, she never would have watched the movie. Again, situations that could have been something else. Next is I have had and I had had. This most of us actually, have a very huge difficulty in accepting. Accepting this usage itself is a great deal. Most of them do not even accept that something like this can even exist. But then let me tell you, this certainly exists. How, you ask? Now, this certainly is an auxiliary. This certainly is an auxiliary, or you call it as helping verb. Agreed. But when you use the same auxiliary in past tense, as a main verb like this, then it's not an auxiliary, but it is a main verb. It is your main verb. Now here, had, in this situation, it is a helping verb, but here it is a main verb. And let me tell you, these are perfect tenses. This is present perfect and this is past perfect. I have had and I had had. Do you know the sentence structure of present perfect? It is subject, have, and okay, let me erase all this first. Okay, the sentence structure is subject, and you have or has, and then you have past participle. The same is the case with past perfect. Past perfect as well. That is subject plus had plus past participle. All right. Now here you can see you have a subject, have, and then past participle. Subject, had, and past participle. So what I'm trying to say is have is obviously your auxiliary, no doubt over there at all. But then we have used the same auxiliary in main verb situation. In this particular situation, it is totally accepted. Trust me, as long as you use that meaningfully in a statement, it is totally accepted. We speak present perfect to those situations which we have just completed or probably started in the past and might have come to those actions might have completed just now. That is what is called as present perfect situations. Like in this scenario, if I say, I have had a word with her about it. Let us say I was talking to one of my colleagues and I have promised somebody else that I will have a word with her. So I go to her, that person, I talk to her, and I come back to my another friend and I tell her that, yeah, I spoke to her and I have had a word with her about it. So she is definitely coming up with a solution. Something like that. Then in second scenario, that is, I have had throat pain all weekend. Now, this is a scenario where you are referring to this particular weekend, not something that has happened very long ago. This particular weekend which just went by. That is, I have had throat pain all weekend and it is still sore right now. The effect of that particular action is still there. So I have had throat pain all weekend. I have had a rough day. I just want to relax now, referring to the day that started in the morning until now. Until now, my day started in the morning, and from that particular moment until this particular second, I have had a rough day and I just want to relax now. Speaking about the actions which started in the past and they might have ended just a few minutes before I am talking to you. All right, this is about present perfect. Now, talking about past perfect. Past perfect is a situation where you are referring to two actions, and when you are referring to older actions or very old actions, you use past perfect. And how do you use it? You use it like this. I had a word with her about it the last time I spoke with her. Now, remember the scenario I told you when I was telling you I have had? There are three of them. One of them says that I want you to talk to her, and I go talk to her, and I come back and I tell this person that I've had a word with her. Now, after a week or so, the same person comes to me, and now I'm having the same discussion, and I'm telling her I had a word with her about it the last time I spoke with her. Now I am referring to an old incident. So here I'm using had. I had a word with her about it the last time I spoke with her. I don't know why she hasn't given us a resolution about it yet, because I had a word with her. So that's how it is. Next is number 2. I had throat pain all weekend and I didn't finish my project at all. As in, again, I'm not referring to something that happened this weekend, but I am probably referring to something that happened most probably almost 2 to 3 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, I had throat pain all weekend. And that is why I did not finish my project. Similarly, I had a rough day and I just wanted to relax then. Now, this is something that I am talking about, narrating an incident about last week to my friend. Something that happened last week, and I'm telling to my friend, I'm coming over and I'm sharing this incident with my friend, and I'm telling her that I had a rough day and I just wanted to relax on that particular day, but then this particular person was disturbing me, going on and on and on, not letting me relax at all. So something like that situation. So I have had, accepted, and grammatically correct as well. Moving on, we have you seem, or you'd better, or you are supposed to. How do you say that? When you say you seem, you are expressing, or you are taking a look at the person and you are expressing your opinion about that person, about how that person is actually appearing to you in front of you. So when you say you seem eager to begin, so the person actually is expressing some kind of emotions which actually makes you feel, could be different of course, but then it makes you feel that that person is eager in that particular situation. You say you seem eager to begin. The scenario, the person would be feeling something else. That's totally different. Beside the point. But what you take from the appearance is this, and you express this. You seem eager to begin. Is that it? And another situation would be, you seem lost and confused. The other person would be maybe sad or maybe thinking about something and maybe confused. You actually are not sure what exactly is the case over there. So you say, you seem lost and confused, because to you, that person looks as if lost and confused. That's why you say, you seem lost and confused. Similarly, you seem to have lost faith in yourself. the other person who you are talking to is really sad and really has lost faith and really has, speaking to you in such a motivated way that you actually think your perception towards that person has developed in such a way that you are expressing this thought, as in, you seem to have lost faith in yourself. Why would you do that? Something like that. Okay. Now, the next one is you'd better. These are actually suggestions. When you are making a suggestion, you can use these kind of situations, these kind of expressions, like you would better exercise. It is you'd better, and you say you'd better. Combinations. Remember the combinations that I told you when you are speaking? We always go with the combinations, contracted forms. Therefore, you'd better exercise. I'm suggesting. You'd better exercise. You'd better call them now. You'd better do something about it. Again, suggesting what you are supposed to do, giving our opinions to somebody else, suggesting what we think, asking others to do something. Next one is you are supposed to keep that a secret. Usage of you are supposed to. So this is again something that you wanted somebody to do something, as in you were supposed to. The combination of you and were has been put over here as you were and your. You are supposed to keep that a secret. You were supposed to leave today. You were supposed to keep them informed. So these were the things that were supposed to happen. You were supposed to, as in, this is what the original plan was initially, but then now it seems like that hasn't happened that way. Now the scenario has been reversed, or totally different things are happening. And in that particular scenario, you are like, okay, what exactly happened? You were supposed to keep that a secret. Why have you shared it with everybody? Again, you were supposed to leave today. Why haven't you left? You still are here. What happened? What's wrong? Similarly, you were supposed to keep them informed, weren't you? Why haven't you done that? Why didn't you inform them? Because you were supposed to keep them informed, weren't you? So these are situations you are expressing about the situation that were supposed to happen, but then they have turned out differently and you've done differently other than that. So these are the usages of you seem, you'd better, and you're supposed to. Next, don't or do you like or how often. Number one, don't with the verb. Don't is the combination of do, not. When you contract them, you get don't. So don't try and fool me. Again, expressing, asking the person not to do something, because don't itself, do not is a negative word, right? Do not. When you have a negative word, the statement becomes negative. So therefore, you are asking somebody not to do something over here. So when you say, don't try and fool me, and when you say, don't think of calling them again, don't drink cold water, you are asking the other person not to do something. Similarly, when you say, do you like? Do you like going to bed early? Do you like talking to new people? Do you like having coffee or tea? Again, you are asking the other person what they like or not like, about their likes, generally asking about their likes. Do you like going to bed early? Do you like talking to new people? Do you like having coffee or tea? Next is how often. Again, here you are asking somebody about something, but then here you are using the phrase how often, which means how many number of times. How many number of times. How often? Often is the word that refers to number of times. So when you ask your friend or whoever that is, if you say, how often do you visit your parents? The person is asking you, or you are asking the person, how many number of times does that particular person visit his parents? Similarly, how often do you trim your hair? So you are asking the other person how often, as in how many number of times, once in a week, once in a month, or once in 6 months. How often do you trim your hair? Similarly, how often do you work out? So again, asking about something, as in how many number of times do you exercise, or do you go to gym, or do you jog, or do you work out? Work out, I'm pretty sure you all are aware of the meaning, that is exercising. So another word for exercising is workout. How often do you work out? Next is What and why and do. Again, asking questions. All these are question words, and how can you question somebody is what we are going to learn in this slide. Like, what do you think about, as in, what do you think about having a cup of tea with me? Your friend has arrived, and maybe your colleague or your friend or whoever that is there, and you want to have a cup of tea, and you're inviting your friend along with you, and you are saying, asking, not saying, asking the person, what do you think about having a cup of tea with me? And the other person would be like, yeah, I think it sounds perfect, let's go have a cup of tea. So something like that. Then the second one would be, what do you think about people being outraged about this issue? Here you were asking for the opinion. You were asking about the opinion. What do you think about people being outraged? Outraged is being very angry. So what do you think about people being outraged about this issue? You were asking for your friend's opinion about this. People being outraged about the issue. So you are asking for opinion. Next one is, what do you think about going on a vacation? Again, you are asking, what do you think about going on a vacation? Opinion again. Next is why. When you use the word why don't. Why don't we pick up some fresh flowers? Why don't we pick up some fresh flowers? Why don't you talk to her first? Why don't you call it off? Now, call it off is meaning, it is an idiom, and call it off means cancel. Means cancel. So you are saying, why don't you cancel it? Or instead you're saying, why don't you call it off? So these statements are pretty much self-explanatory. I don't think I have to explain too much. So why don't you? Again, it is negative, and you were asking somebody to do something or not to do something. Next is with beginning with do. Like, do you want me to pick up the kids? Do you want me to call her? Do you want me to cook dinner tonight? Now here you are not asking somebody else to do something, but instead you are offering something, some help to somebody by telling them if they want you to do that. As in, do you want me to call her? Like, do you want me to call her? Like, if you want, I'll go ahead and I'll make the call. So you are asking more like for permission, or asking if the other person wants you to do something of that sort. Next is with it's too bad. It's too bad, you could have. Now that's what we call. Let us begin with it's too bad that. Now when you say it's too bad that she lost her job, it's too bad that you couldn't meet her, it's too bad that he didn't come. Well, the word is pretty much self-explanatory, as in it's too bad that she lost her job. Okay, the person has lost a job, and you obviously feel too bad about it, and you feel sorry for the situation, and you are expressing your sadness like this. You say, it's too bad that she lost her job. It's too bad that you couldn't meet her. It's too bad that he didn't come. So all the scenarios, when you say it's too bad, you are actually sad and upset about something. Next is, you could have come sooner. Here you are talking about something, again, hypothetical situation, as in, you could have come sooner, but then now you were late. You could have told me about this. I might have probably done something differently. You could have followed the rules. Maybe you wouldn't have ended up paying fine. You could have followed the rules. So talking about something which could have happened differently. Now this is something else. Now that's what we call bonding. Now something has already happened. You suggested something to your friend, and your friend actually followed that suggestion, and he lived up to it, and he has done that excellently, commendably. So in that particular situation, you are happy about how your friend or whoever that is has done, about the action having been done, and you are happy and you are giving your appreciation by saying, now that's what we call bonding. Well done. Or that's what we call socializing. Well done. Now that's what we call being smart. Good job. Something like that. So when you are appreciating, you can definitely use these kind of statements to appreciate somebody or for something. All right. Now the next usage is with now that, or it's gonna be, or it looks like. Now that with a noun, like this. Now that you're rich, buy a house. Now that you're here, let's go out for a long drive. Now that you're free, why not go out for a dinner? So here these situations are, obviously you are talking to something that has turned out differently. Like earlier you probably thought, let us say you wanted to buy a house and your friend was like, okay, I don't have money, I'm not rich, I don't have enough of money to buy the house, what can I do? So these were the kind of conversations you were having about buying a house earlier. Now situation has changed, your friend has really become rich enough to afford a house, and you go to that particular friend of yours and you say, all right, now all these years you were talking about not having money, but now that you are rich, why not go buy a house for yourself? So that's how the situation goes. Similarly, now that you are here, let's go out for a long drive. Your friend probably was talking about not having time, but then now he's here and you're like, okay, fine, I think you were here. Now that you're here, why don't we go for a drive? Now that you're free, why not go out for dinner? So your friend was actually saying no for dinner repeatedly. So in that particular situation, you come up with this thing, and your friend has suddenly turned up and he is free as well. And then you say, now that you're free, why don't we go out and have dinner? So these are the situations which you can see, which you can use in these particular scenarios. Next is, it's going to be easy, it's going to be a long drive, it's going to be a successful move. Gonna, I told you yesterday, is actually the combination of going to. When you write, you use going to, and gonna is in speaking. When you are speaking, you use gonna instead of going to. It is going to be easy, or it's gonna be easy. These are pretty much self-explanatory. You are expressing your thoughts. It's gonna be easy, it's gonna be a long drive, it's gonna be a successful move. Now, another one is, it looks like it's going to rain. It looks like she won't make it. It looks like he is taking the new job. The phrase, it looks like, is more about expressing your opinions. It's about stating your opinions. So if you say it looks like it's going to rain, that means you see the clouds up there and it's cloudy, and your opinion is based on the situation around. You are saying, I think it looks like it's going to rain, or it looks like she won't make it. It looks like he is taking the job. So these are your opinions. Next is, that's why, it's time to, it's about time. Now these three expressions, let us learn about them. That's why with subject and verb. That's why I always leave early. That's why I always leave early. That's why I never take chances. That's why I'm always prepared. Now here the words, these sentences, these statements are again self-explanatory, telling you that is why I always leave early. Let us take a scenario. You are actually leaving for work and you probably leave exactly 15 minutes before your login time, and then you end up in traffic, and your friend, you turn up late to office, and then you go straight to your friend, and you tell the friend that I was held up in traffic and I couldn't actually come over here on time. And then your friend actually says, that's why I always leave early, because I know that you are going to be held up in traffic. You cannot actually trust the traffic these days. That's why I always leave early. Or in another situation, that's why I never take chances. That's why I am always prepared. So these are something that you say, that is why I would have done it differently. Next one is, it's time to say goodbye. It is time. As in, you are saying something like, it is the time. It is the right time to say or do something. So you say like this, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to take the next step. It's time to call it a day. I told you earlier, call it a day is ending, bringing something to an end. That is, call it a day. Again, this is an idiom, and it means bringing something to an end, be it an event, or probably if you are in a meeting or whatever that is, you are bringing it to an end, and you say, let's call it a day, or it's time to call it a day. So therefore, let's wind it up and let's finish this thing. Next is, it's about time you changed your ways. It's about time you took your health seriously. It's about time they moved to another place. Now, this usage, that is, it's about time. As in, for example, it's about time you changed your ways. Now, when you say this, probably your friend has been doing things in a different way and has been doing it in a very unpleasing or unpleasant way, and in that particular situation, you being a good friend, you've been asking your friend repeatedly over time to change the ways, and then one day you find that your friend has succumbed to whatever he has been doing, and then you feel sorry for him, and then you go to him and you say, it's about time you changed your ways because you saw what just happened. What happened right now was not appropriate, was not right. That has definitely happened because of your ways, because of the way you've been doing things in a particular way. So it's about time you do it, you change your ways. So that's how you use it. I mean, as if like asking somebody to do it, having asked them to do it for a number of times already. You have asked them to do it many number of times already, but they haven't listened to you. But then it has come to such a situation where they have no other option but to go ahead and do it. Similarly, it's about time you took your health seriously. Again, you probably had been asking your friend to take care of his health for a very long time, but then he did not, and probably one day he ends up seriously ill. And then you're like, I think now you have learned your lesson. It's about time you took your health really seriously. Similarly, it's about time they moved to another place. They probably were living in a very tiny, tacky place, and you, being a good friend, you were advising them to move, shift from there, but they do not. And one day something really bad happens, and you say it's about time they moved to another place. So this is this kind of usage. Next is, it's such a shame, or I'm afraid. Now, both these usages are used to say something very politely, as in, it's such a shame, as in, it's such a shame that she can't make it to the party. Now, if you had said the same thing in an informal way, you probably would have said in a very different way. But then when you say that in a very polite, in a very formal way, this is how you say it. You say, oh, that sounds so bad. It's such a shame that she can't make it to the party. It's such a shame that they lost the match. It's such a shame. We need to put an apostrophe here. All right. It's such a shame that they lost the match. It's such a shame that they cancelled it. So you are feeling bad for whatever has happened, but then you are expressing it very politely, in a very cultured way, in a very formal way. So that's how you say it when you are sad about something. Next is, I'm afraid I can't come tonight. You've been invited for something and you cannot make it. You want to decline the request or the invitation very politely in a formal way. In that particular situation, you say, I'm afraid I can't come tonight. I'm afraid I can't accept this offer. I'm afraid that's not possible. I'm afraid we can't attend the wedding. So all these are rejections. So when you are rejecting, while you're also being polite. So in this particular situation, you go ahead and use I'm afraid I can't come tonight. I'm afraid, and it's such a shame is actually a very polite way of expressing your feelings, emotions, strong emotions, but in a very controlled manner, in a very composed manner, and in a very formal way. It's such a shame, and I'm afraid I can't. So these are a few usages. These are a bunch of sentence fragments that I have shared with you. Now, I want you to practice this. Just like I told you yesterday, practice at least for 7 times. Each particular statement, come up with your own. I have tried to give you at least 3 ways of expressions. I want you to come up with 7 more for each sentence fragment. It's not going to happen overnight. Be kind to yourself. Be patient about learning English. Developing a language is not an easy thing. It has to be given time. It's not going to happen overnight. You will have to give yourself at least minimum of 6 months of time if you really want to excel, or if you really want to be proficient in your language. And trust me, with consistent efforts and with consistent practice, you really are going to nail it. Take my words because I'm speaking from my personal experience. So trust me, you will definitely improve your English. And next time when you are going to attend my live session or any other session, I'm pretty sure you're not going to ask me to teach you that in Hindi. I'm pretty sure about that. And that's going to be something that I'm going to be proud of. So that's the end. Let's call it a day now. Thank you for watching, and do leave your comments below. Let's see whether or not you liked this video, whether or not this video was helpful. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Do not forget to hit the bell icon if you haven't already. And the most important thing, do use the code TA01 to avail that extra 10% of discount on the subscription that you're going to buy. Do join our Telegram group for latest updates and our upcoming videos. Well, then meet you again very soon. Until then, keep learning and do not give up. Have a good day. Bye-bye.